Next, I'd like to turn to Rick and Maureen Hunter, and they're going to talk about their company and the products that they have, the models, as well as the weather. So, Rick, Maureen, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, Maureen is here. So we get her on another camera. Let's see if I can do this now.
Okay, sure.
My gosh, you're getting better at this.
I'm getting quicker.
There you go. Okay.
Look at that. I can do it in less than 5 seconds now. What we want to go over tonight is some basic stuff that we use all the time for kits. It's probably for the old seasoned modeler, you probably know all this, but we want to make sure you understand exactly the tools and so on that we use and some of the methods. One of the things we want to accomplish tonight is Maureen has got an excellent reputation for putting MBWs on kits. Over the years, she's got to the point where she doesn't lose any. And we're going to show you that little technique a little later tonight. But right now, we want to go through some of the tools. Maureen, you want to take it?
Sure. Well, first off, just when I'm starting to build a kit, just make sure you got a nice flat, hard surface to work on.
What we're talking about there is we have right here, it's a 3/4 inch melamine shelving, and it's nice and straight and tough. What we learned one time is if you ever see us at a show, Maureen is always building one of our kits, and she was building one of our big howl trusses, and we didn't realize that the table had a little whoop-de-doo in it. And of course, the bridge ended up having to be a sway back. And we've learned from there that you have to have a good, solid surface to work on.
Yeah. Then what I usually do is just, of course, read my instructions, but as Clark said, and tape down my drawing, my template drawing on the board, and then put a sheet of wax paper over the top. I'm sure you probably already know that, but it's just really, really helpful that you can cut all your wood right on that drawing and not damage the drawing, and you do your gluing right on the drawing as well, and it won't stick to the paper, which is great. Some of the other things that I can't do without is this handy dandy little razor saw. So I always use a fine tooth razor saw to distress all my lumber before I stain it. And I use it to cut my lumber as well.
We over the years, people say, why don't you use a chopper? Well, we never use a chopper because it actually bends and destroys the end cut of it. It compresses it, and that's not the look that you want. So we find that razor saw gives a nice clean cut all the way through.
Mm-hmm. And I think last week or one of the weeks that we've been doing the New Tracks meetup, I showed you how I distress the lumber, and that's what I use. So I would distress all my lumber and then do all my staining and then glue everything together. And the glue that I like to use is Titebond. I really like that. It's really nice and tacky and doesn't set up too quickly, so you've got plenty of time to work with it. It's a great glue. I also have tried LePage's wood glue and Elmer's, and I like it as well, but I seem to come back to Titebond all the time.
What we look for in a glue is that it gets a lot of the glues out there are an hour later, they're still not set up, where we find, you'll see on the label there, it does say short clamp time, which is good. That's what we look for. We just happen to be using Titebond. We've used a lot of them before, but we always use the yellow glue, the Carpenter glue. It is stronger. We've used this Carpenter glue for many, many years, and sometimes that shows when our models actually hit the floor. We actually have the glue stay, the joint stays together, and it's the wood that breaks.
And Clark had showed you the little bottle that he uses. I use the same thing. It's great. I picked this one up on Amazon. They sell the bottles in quite a big package of bottles, and they give you different gauge tips, so you can pick which one that works for you best. Another tool that I really can't do without is this Ultimation sander. And you've seen Al Collins on previous track meetups and has demonstrated the use of this sander, and it's fantastic. I tell you, it really has saved a lot of my projects. It's just a great sander. You get all your joints are just perfect, and saves you a lot of time.
He doesn't give us a commission on advertising this, okay? We just like to use it.
And I think what I'm going to show you now is just how I put these little NBWs in, nut bolt washer castings. I don't know if I can live up to what Rick said, but I'll show you the process that I follow. And I've just got a tie stringer assembly here that I'm going to just demonstrate how I do that. Usually we put in the NBWs on every fourth tie on the tie guard. So I just use a drill bit that's the same size as the NBW. And I'll go to the fourth tie and just drill a little hole, pilot a hole. Rick likes to use a push pin, but I prefer the little drill. I'll put a couple in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just pilot a good size hole for yourself.
While she's doing that, you can see what our drawings actually look like. I'm in AutoCAD. I have been for many, many years. And all our drawings are actually templates that you would draw, build it right on the drawing with the wax paper. But our drawings are very accurate. And none of them are photocopied. They are all originals off the printer or off the plotter, whatever machine we're using. But there's reasons for doing that. You don't want, you know, a drawing to end up being 98% or 102%. It's got to be right on.
So I've got my little sprue of NBWs. These are O-scale, so I'm kind of cheating. They're nice and big. You can see them pretty good, I think. Always do it on a white background. And if you do it right on your drawing, over top of your wax paper, you won't destroy the drawing. So these are a Tishy product, and they're great because they're a great color. They're sort of that rusty brown color already. Get yourself a really sharp X-Acto knife. And what I used to do is keep a good head on that NBW and just slice it off just, you know, before the end of the sprue. What I used to do was cut it straight across. And I found out a couple of weeks ago, a gentleman had suggested that cut it on an angle, cut it off on an angle, and it'll have a little bit of a point there and it'll go into the hole even easier. So what I do is just hold on to your sprue with your left hand or right, whatever hand that you are, and take your pointer finger, put it over top of that, the end of the X-Acto knife, and cut off that first little NBW on an angle.
Your finger is actually going to hold it on so it won't go flying.
So you
and don't cut the whole spew at one time, just 1 or 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah. So you can see I've got a couple here. And on the white background, you can really pick that up. Now, the other thing that really, really is helpful is if you've got a good tweezers. These are at a 90-degree angle and they're very, very pointy, very sharp. They meet together at the end, which is really important because you can grab that little NBW just under the head and it's not going to shoot out anywhere. Those the ends of the tweezer are meeting just perfectly. So just before I do that, though, I have to give myself a little pot of glue. So just a little pot of glue on your wax paper. Take that NBW with the tweezers just under the head and grab it. And then pop that tail into the glue and then go for the hole. And that little angle that you cut off should make it go in quite nicely. And it did. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll do another one here. So just grab it under the head with those sharp tweezers.
I watched this one go flying.
Yeah. Pop the tail into the glue and then head for that hole. Okay. And pop it in. I just use the tweezer to take off any glue that might be along the edges. I
usually say once you've done 10 of them, you're an expert.
Yeah.
Marine's probably up about 10,000 of them.
So that works really, really well. If you're an N scaler, or if you're an HO or whatever, and you just
Can't handle
can't get it, you just can't get it. I found this pen at Michael's. It comes in a package of different colors. Unfortunately, can't just buy this pen. It's made by Kuretake, and you find it in the scrapbooking section. It's called Zig Memory System, and it is pure brown. That's the color of it, 05 pure brown, and it is great. It's a really rust colored pen, and you can just take that. It's very fine tip and it doesn't bleed, and you can just take it and dot for your NBW, and it works great.
So that's how you do an N scale NBW.
Yeah. So once I've got the NBWs in, usually what I'll do, they look great though. They're nice rust colored. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but usually what I'll do is then take our creosote black, use it as a wash, and just take my cheap dollar store brush, flat brush, and just take it and run it across that tie guard and across the NBWs. And what it does, it's probably pretty hard for you to see it here, but it highlights the little ring that's on that nut bolt washer casting.
So what it does, it's like soldering. It rings around whatever it's touching. So you can actually see that it's a hex head nut on a round washer.
Yeah, I think that's it in a nutshell. Anybody have any questions? No?
I think that's fantastic modeling, Maureen. I really do. That's fantastic.
Yeah, just
Maureen?
don't use that extra nut bolt and washer that you gotta.
You want us to send it to you?
Yeah.
Sure.
There it is.
Maureen, those are the larger nut bolt washer castings. How about the little ones? Do you have any suggestions for using those little ones that were in that King Post bridge that I bought?
Yeah, I just do the same thing, Jerry. Just make sure you've got a great pair of tweezers. That is a huge, huge help. As you know, just make sure those points meet perfectly, and just do the same process. Even for the little ones, that's what I do. I just pick them up under the head, just like that, and pop them in the glue. And I just shot that one across, but just pop that tail in the glue and pop it in the hole. I can't, I can't give you any other tip other than that. Try cutting it off at an angle too on that sprue. Just take it and cut it on an angle, hold your finger over top of it, and having that little point on the end makes it a little bit easier to get it in the hole.
When we first started this, we used a Dremel drill. Wow. It's completely uncontrollable. This way you can target it and just take your time at putting the hole in and straight up and down.
Yeah.
One other question for you, and this is for the group as well, who builds laser kits. Has anyone ever used that Fowler laser kit glue?
No, I haven't.
I have not.
You gotta remember the laser cuts it's a different type of wood, a laminate type of wood, and it's not basswood, okay? So I don't know, like we're not laser cut people, so we can't answer that effectively, but why not? Like it probably.
Well, Rick, Maureen, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you being here this evening. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention about our build along coming up. The registrations are coming in. This is good. you can help me on this with the dates, Jim.
Yep,
It's starts on May 22nd, and it's going to be
Yep.
8 sessions of a half-hour long.
right.
And we want all the orders for the kits to be in by May the 8th, so we can get them to you in plenty of time. And there's been a little bit of confusion about, we are going to build the S scale version because it's easier to see, it's bigger. But some of the guys are, can I build another scale? Well, yeah, we can build it whatever you want, N scale, HO, S, O, or any of the narrow gauges. And just when you give us the order, we'll talk to you about it. That's why we're controlling this, is that we need what colors you want and what scale.
Because they also get two different bottles of your weathering fluid with the model, right, Rick?
Yeah, there's 2 colors. We call it a base color and a highlight color. The base color, depending on if you like grays or browns, but it's usually a lighter color, like our driftwood or Cordovan brown or light gray or blue gray. And then we always suggest using a crisp black at the end, highlight color, just like Maureen did across the MBWs there. That adds the grease and oil and crap on the ties and what's underneath the locomotives, and also highlights all the little MBWs that are on it.
If you have those colors already, some of those colors already, you just pick another 2 colors.
You have 2 colors that you want. Yeah.
Rick, is there a special spot on your page on, or can you put out the website address?
Well, it's pretty easy. It's www.hunterline.com.
Just
Okay.
Email to rick@hunterline.com, and don't go online, because our store is not set up to take discounts, and the prices on there are at a discounted price. So just email me what you want, and then we'll converse back and forth and get all the details.
Okay.
And also, again, all of this information is on our website at newtracksmodeling.com under the build along section. What we've done is listed each one of the different build alongs. Hunterline has all of the information about tools, about the model, about the different scales that it's available in, and the ordering directions and everything. So if you have any questions, you can look at that information. And then Rick has his email address, his telephone number, and his way to contact him on that website.
And that, another point is that you don't have to be an accomplished modeler to do this. Okay, we do this what we call a make and take at conventions all the time, and the majority of the people are beginners to middle. But then we get the seasoned ones on there, and they learn a few things too. So it doesn't matter what your capability is, we can get you through it.
A question from Al. He wants to know how many sessions to build a snow shed.
How many parts are in it, Al? So let's say 10 parts a day. I think Al said there was 4,000 parts to that kit, but you can use his sander to do it.
Yeah.
On COVID time, you could do 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, thanks so much, guys. I really do appreciate it.
836 ain't. We didn't hear you on that one. Can you say that again?
That was Al, wasn't it?
I do not know.
Anyways, okay, that's it for us tonight, guys. Stay safe, okay?
You
All
too.
right.
Thank you so very much.
Can
Thank
you
you.
unshare the screen?